In tonight's WGN Investigates, hundreds of people are put on electronic monitoring every day across the country. It's a way to keep offenders from leaving their homes while managing overcrowding at jails.
Question, though, is it working? A group of women say it didn't make them feel any safer when the man they feared cut off his monitor. And WGN's investigative reporter Lourdes Duartes walks you through their story. Lourdes?
It is quite a story. This is part one of a two-night series on electronic monitoring. In the case you're about to see, one man placed on the monitor made a mockery of the system right on social media.
In the group chat, we have Amy, Amanda, Angela, Crystal, Kelly, Chrissy, Marina, Megan, and Tiffany.
At the end of the day,
this isn't the first time. We do this every 2 years.
all these women
Crystal!
share the same experience.
It's so good to meet you. I filed for an emergency order of protection in 2018.
There's no telling what he will do or what he's capable of doing.
It's just a matter of time before they catch me.
Stalking, harassing, who's threatening me.
Their stories revolve around this man.
You know, and this town's big enough that, you know, I can blend in and...
37-year-old Christopher Welch. Police know him well. They have their pickup mugshots. During a 2-week span in June of 2018, he was arrested or cited 7 different times for a variety of crimes, including violating an order of protection.
Finally, this year in June, I got a protective order.
He absolutely can go anywhere he wants. He doesn't follow the rules at all.
For years, the women have complained about him. Crystal says he harassed her repeatedly. You actually have documentation, paperwork, you've called police. How many police reports?
4 police reports at this point.
Welch was eventually locked up for residential burglary and violating an order of protection. And then came the pandemic.
He got let out early for COVID. And they let him out and put him on an ankle monitor that he was supposed to be on, I think, for 2 years.
He was actually placed on the Illinois Department of Corrections electronic monitoring system for 4 years. He didn't last anywhere near that long. Welcome to his social media page, where he was bold enough to show the world how he felt about that electronic monitor. 34 seconds of video posted on June 12th of this year.
Once he cut it off, it was game over. Like, I had no protection whatsoever.
Yeah, I've given these people enough of my life.
He let everybody know that he was going to break off the electronic monitoring.
I'm not doing this for 4 years.
That definitely did not make me feel safe.
Because this is unconstitutional as hell.
Before I loop you back into what ended up happening in the Christopher Welch case, it may help to understand how often people have gone missing while on a monitor. WGN Investigates obtained records from Cook County. The Illinois Department of Corrections has its own program, which is the one Welch was on. They didn't share their data. But in Cook County, as of October of this year, 456 people, or nearly 15% of the people on EM, are missing, classified as AWOL.
Our AWOLs, by and large, half of them almost, are within a window of like 6 months. And then there's about 100 people who've been missing for over a decade, 15, 20 years.
People like Andres Guerra, who was 19 and charged with first-degree murder. Renee Chandler, same thing, on a monitor, charged with sexual assault. Laith Aldeman was accused of child pornography. He was put on a monitor, and so was Miguel Carmona Suarez, accused in a fatal DUI crash. All of these men are now listed as AWOL in the system, disappearing within the last year.
I think we are taking jails and creating open-air prisons in our communities, in our homes.
Patrice James with the Shriver Center on Poverty Law has been studying the EM system for years.
There is an idea or a sense that electronic monitors keep people safe, but the data and the research shows that electronic monitoring does not actually aid in rehabilitation, and that has minimal effect on recidivism.
It's a debate that rages on as departments and courts rely more and more on the monitors.
I was called by my parole officer. I was told to return to my host site.
As far as Christopher Welch goes, we obtained a copy of his letter to the parole board explaining why he cut off that monitor. He says, quote, "The battery life on the monitor certainly didn't last long, and it would verbally alert me at the most inopportune times, including in the middle of work. And I was expected to do 4 more years of this. It was inevitable I would violate, so I just facilitated the process."
They ain't gonna be picking me up tonight, and they're not gonna be picking me up for a while.
Welch is now back behind bars.
There's backup.
Cameras captured his arrest not long after cutting off the monitor, but that social media video lives on, reminding the women of an EM system that may need some work.
And by the way, we did reach out to the Illinois Department of Corrections about their program. They said as of right now, they don't have anyone classified as AWOL. That's all they would say about it. Tomorrow night in part 2, what's being done to address the problem? We sit down with the Cook County Sheriff to talk about a new system to track people. They just rolled it out in March. And I think you're going to find this really, really interesting because we go out with them as they try to find some of these individuals after the alerts go off that they're missing.
And it's been hampered a lot because of the pandemic, too.
That's right, because they're trying to ease some of the overcrowding at the jails. They want to try to let people go because of COVID, so a lot of times they get put on these monitors while they wait for their trial to start.
So such a stunning level of defiance there.
And to see those numbers, I think that's what's really stunning.
Scary.
See you with more tomorrow.
Yep.